And when I went downstairs, I remember I saw my babysitter wasted on my couch saying, "Oh, Baba, you're down here. Come cuddle with me for a little bit, please. I feel lonely." And I did not know what to do, and I wanted to get out of there super badly. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Baba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So this story takes place back in my grade 10 year, and I remember in my grade 10 year, I wasn't the smartest kid, but I will say this, I definitely was super naughty, meaning that I would always do the devil's tango, and I would basically focus on anything but my actual schooling or anything that was actually supposed to be important in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, to this day, I still regret doing those types of things, and that's probably why I tell the stories of them, because I'm really embarrassed of them. But I remember one time in my grade 10 year, out of nowhere, I ended up driving home one day, and when I got home with my car, I ended up seeing that my parents were ready to talk to me about something. I remember both my parents, they ended up bringing me to the kitchen, and we sat down in the dining room, and they said, "Baba, I looked at your school papers. It's pretty clear to me that you're not doing good in school. What's the reason for this?" I just been distracted with other stuff, Dad. I don't really know." "Baba, you're failing school. This is a big deal. Like, how are we supposed to leave this weekend and you not focus on school and failing?" I'll be fine. I'll focus this weekend, I promise." 100% you will be focusing this weekend because I also got a babysitter for this weekend for you." "Wait, what?" At this moment, I was super annoyed because I realized that my parents hired a babysitter to take care of me even though I was in grade 10. And just a reminder, when you're in grade 10, you're like, what, 15 turning 16? So having a babysitter at that age is super embarrassing. Obviously, I kept begging my parents not for them to get me a babysitter, but they wouldn't listen and they wanted me to pay attention to school, so they ended up getting this babysitter. So knowing this, I was super upset and I went upstairs to my room and I was just basically like annoyed, and I ended up texting all my friends about how I was not able to go out this weekend or do anything because, well, I was going to be basically imprisoned in my own home. Like, I would understand if I was in middle school, but being in grade 10, like, seriously? A babysitter? So I ended up just getting really upset and just kind of having those rage moments in my room where I would just end up punching my pillow. But then out of nowhere, I remember I ended up hearing a knock on the door and my parents welcoming in the new babysitter. At that moment, I ended up going downstairs and I saw it was just some basic 22-year-old lady that was just waiting to take care of some child. But when I came down the stairs to introduce myself, the babysitter looks at me as if I was weird, and she said to me, "Wait, so I'm taking care of you today?" Yeah, my parents don't trust me. They're just being weird. "No, we're not being weird, actually. He's not focusing in school, so we need you to make sure he focuses on school. You understand?" "Oh yeah, I'll make sure he focuses on school." "Okay, perfect. Okay, Baba, me and your mom are leaving." At that moment, my babysitter ended up staring at me as my parents left, and we just stood there awkwardly not knowing what to say to each other. And then randomly, after like 30 seconds of silence, she looks at me and says, "So you're not doing good in school, huh? Do you need any help with school?" No, I'm good, thanks." "Okay, good, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was terrible in school." Okay." And at that moment, I ended up just going upstairs and just playing video games and actually not doing my schoolwork, but this babysitter really just did not seem to care, and she ended up just going on my couch and just sitting down and doing her own thing. And I remember after 15 minutes, I remember out of nowhere, I ended up taking off my headphones because I thought someone was at my front door. And when I went to my staircase, I ended up seeing that my babysitter was answering the front door, but the only thing that was at the front door was a bag. It was just a bag that was like the size of a duffel bag, and she ends up picking it up and bringing it inside the house, and she saw me on the top of the stairwell and said, "Oh, sorry, I told my mom to bring me some clothes. I totally forgot them back at my place. Sorry about that." No, it's all good," is what I told her. And at that moment, I ended up basically going back into my room. Now, I found it weird because she already had a backpack with her when she first came, so getting another bag of clothes, like, how long was this girl planning on staying here for? Something wasn't adding up, clearly. But I remember 2 hours went by and it was basically time for dinner. So what I decided to do is go downstairs and look at the babysitter and see what she was up to and see what was for dinner. But as I went into the living room, I saw she was just sitting there and she instantly hid something inside the duffel bag once I appeared out of the corner. She looked at me and said, "Oh, sorry, I was just doing something. What's up? What do you need?" I was just wondering, what are we having for dinner?" I'm not sure. Do you want me like order a pizza?" Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm down." "Okay, well, just give me like 20 minutes and I'll just order a pizza and get everything set up." Okay, cool." At that moment, I ended up going back upstairs and I ended up just playing video games once again because, well, there was nothing else to do since I was imprisoned in my own home thanks to my parents. But I mean, how bad could it be since we were getting pizza? At least so I thought, because what ends up happening next, I gotta say, was really bizarre. Because I remember after like 20 minutes, I ended up going back downstairs and I saw that my babysitter was at the front door waiting for the pizza. But when I went downstairs to go talk to her, I remember I looked at her in the eyes and something seemed really off with her. Like, it's like her awareness just ended up disappearing. One minute she was super aware when I came around the corner, but the next she doesn't even seem like she knows what's left and right. I remember I looked at her and said, "Hey, like, is everything good?" "Oh, yeah, Baba, don't worry. I'm just waiting for the pizza." "Okay, well, when did they say they'll be coming?" "Oh, they said they'll be coming in like, I don't know, like another 5 minutes." "When did they say that?" "Oh, like 20 minutes ago." "Okay, well, if you want, you can go sit down. Are you not feeling well?" "No, I'm fine. Don't worry about me, Baba." And at that moment, I ended up grabbing her by the hand and just taking her to the couch, and I basically told her just to sit down and relax and I'll get the pizza myself. myself. I remember another 45 minutes went by, and I'm just sitting on this couch staring at this babysitter, tripping out. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna let her do her own thing, and if things get worse, I'll call a doctor. AKA, my plan was to actually just call 911 because I didn't know what else to do. But one thing led to another. I remember finally the door ended up ringing, and I ended up basically going up to my front door, and I ended up seeing it was the pizza guy. I ended up basically asking my babysitter for the money, and she ended up just throwing her wallet at me. And I walked up to the door guy, and I ended up saying, hey, yeah, here's the money. Oh, okay, thanks. And he ended up leaving. At that moment, I ended up bringing the pizza to the living room, and me and her, we started eating. But when we started eating, I am not joking, this babysitter was munching on this food as if it was her last dinner on death row. Like, she was just eating it as if she was never eaten food before in her life. I remember I looked at her and said, hey, so you're still feeling well, right? Yeah, Baba, don't worry about me. I'm fine. It's just this food is so good. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back upstairs. So I ended up getting like 3 slices of pizza, going upstairs and just playing video games again. But then I remember after like an hour went by, I ended up getting really worried because clearly I knew something was off with this babysitter, but I didn't know what. So what I decided to do was go back downstairs, and I ended up basically going into the living room and seeing what my babysitter was up to. When I saw her though, I am not joking, things went for the worst because I saw her in the living room and she looks over at me saying, oh, Baba, you're here. Baba, come here. I want to cuddle. I'm feeling really lonely. You want to what? Is what I said. And then she ended up basically standing up, walking up to me and grabbed me and said, I want to cuddle. Come here. And then me and her, we ended up going to the couch and we started cuddling on the couch together. I was cuddling my babysitter. At this moment, I didn't know what was going on, but she was holding on to me tighter than ever, as if she lost a loved one. I ended up asking her if everything was okay, but she just wouldn't ever give me a clear answer until I ended up looking to the side of the couch and I saw her duffel bag was like a little bit slightly open. And when I reached my hand over to see what was inside, I realized it was full of alcohol. My babysitter was wasted and I didn't even know about it. At this moment, I didn't know what to do, but at least I knew what was going on. So I looked over at her and said, hey, listen, you're not feeling well and I can tell you drank. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna let you just pass out for the night. I won't say anything to my parents, but you just need to calm down, okay? Oh, Baba, don't tell anyone. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Okay. And I ended up going upstairs to my bedroom and just pretended nothing was going on. But then out of nowhere, I want to say it was like 2 in the morning. I was still awake playing video games. And then afterwards, I ended up hearing from my door that someone was yelling in my house. I didn't know what was going on. So I ended up going downstairs to see what was happening. And I saw my babysitter was on the phone with her ex-boyfriend and they were just screaming at each other left and right. At this moment, I kind of realized why she was drinking. And it was because apparently her boyfriend cheated on her and stuff. But when I went downstairs, I ended up just grabbing the phone and I ended up hanging up saying, you need to stop. Like, seriously, you need to calm down. My opinion, just lay down and get some rest, okay? Baba, I can't sleep by myself. Can I just sleep with you? I don't think that's a good idea. Baba, please, it'll be fine. At that moment, I remember this babysitter ended up hopping onto my back as if I was giving her a piggyback ride, and I ended up taking her upstairs to my bedroom, and she basically ended up passing out on my bed. No, I did not do the devil's tango with her, by the way, because obviously she was wasted. I would never do it with someone that was not aware of what was going on. And well, one thing led to another. It was getting super late. I ended up going downstairs and passing out on the couch, and the next morning, I remember at like 2 p.m., my babysitter ended up coming downstairs and she saw me pass out on the couch and she walked up to me and ended up giving me a kiss on the cheek saying thank you and left the place. Like, she was supposed to be there for 3 days, by the way, but she literally ended up staying only 1 day and ended up leaving me. Kind of rude of the babysitter and it's honestly kind of insane how she did that, but hey, what can I say? I guess she had her own problems. And since the babysitter was gone as well, like, I can go do whatever I want. So I saw it as more of a win-win scenario. But if you guys thought this babysitter was insane, then my opinion, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.